Hey guys, welcome back to our tutorial video. If you have been following along, by now your drone should be assembled and ready for tuning. Don't worry, in the upcoming episodes, we will cover everything from basic tuning to PID adjustment, and it's all for free. So hit the like button and subscribe. Let's get started. Before we dive into tuning, let's start by updating the firmware. There are various firmware options for flight controllers, but for now, we will focus on the widely used BetaFlight. BetaFlight comes with its own software. Find a version that matches your computer's system and click to download. For your ESC, there are two types, 8-bit and 32-bit. Each requires a different software. If you have 32-bit ESC, you can download it here. If you are using an 8-bit ESC, I recommend flashing firmware that supports bidirectional ESC protocol. You can do this through a web page. Once the software is downloaded, let's begin by updating the flight controller firmware. Connect your flight controller to your computer using a data cable. Be aware that there is no need to power up the drone at this stage. The specific model of your flight controller will be displayed in the top left corner of the software. Take a screenshot or write it down, then disconnect and unplug the data cable. Locate the boot button on the flight controller, plug in the data cable. Inside the BetaFlight, you will see DFU indicating that you are in firmware burn-in mode. Set the drone aside and click Update Firmware. In the firmware updating interface, find your specific flight controller model. The firmware version will be displayed below automatically. For this demo, I will use the latest firmware version. After selecting the firmware version, click Load Firmware Online, wait for it to load. Then click Flash Firmware and wait for the process to complete. During this process, be careful not to touch the drone or connected wire to avoid any potential burning failures. Once the firmware is flashed, click Welcome on the main interface to reconnect to the flight controller. Then click Apply Defaults. The flight controller will reboot automatically. When you see a warning message, don't panic, just close it. Next, go to the Model tab and set a model protocol. Click Save and the drone will reboot, then disconnect. As I mentioned earlier, there are 8-bit and 32-bit ESCs. Let's start by flashing the 8-bit ESC. In the web interface, power up the drone to prevent the VTX from overheating. It's a good idea to use a small fan for some airflow. Select the serial port and click Connect, then click Read Setup in the bottom right corner. After setting a read, click Flash Firmware in the bottom right corner. For the first option, choose the one at the bottom. For the second option, the software will auto-detect your ESC firmware model. For the third option, select the latest firmware. I recommend choosing 48K for smaller drones as it's more power efficient. Click Flash Firmware and wait for the flashing to finish. Then disconnect. The drone will reboot automatically. Now let's talk about how to upgrade a 32-bit ESC. The process is similar to what we just did. Open the software when you downloaded earlier and power up the drone. Select the third option. Choose the bot and click Read Setup. The software has detected the ESC firmware. Click OK and click ESC Flash at the top. Since I've already flashed it, it's showing the latest version. After double-click, click Flash Select ESC here. That's it for the firmware update process. I'll provide the software download links in the comments. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will dive into specific settings. Don't forget to follow us for more updates.
MEPS